From the depths of the sea, our HOPA game for today is still somewhat related to the water element. So dip in as we solve the mystery of the lake house.
The Lake House, Children of Silence, was released by Friday's Games in December 2012 under the company banner Alawar Friday's Games, when it was then part of the in-house development studio of Alawar Entertainment. The story starts when Henry met up with his childhood sweetheart Anne at their favorite cafe and proceeded to pop the important question with the ring in hand. She accepted yes, and they got married and lived happily ever after.
Except that this isn't what happened in this game. Well, not straight away.
Turns out, somebody is not a happy bunny about their upcoming wedding, and even managed to break into their home and deface their photo album. This was just moments after Henry saw a mysterious figure stood outside the cafe and seemed to be stalking them. A package later arrives for Anne, and inside are childhood toys belonging to her brother Tommy, as well as a torn photo of the old lake house where they lived as children. 15 years ago, Tommy fell into the lake, and when the search and rescue team failed to find him, was declared to have drowned to his death. Overcome with grief, the Bennett family decided to leave their home. As Anne assembles the picture, she sees a vision of her brother with his favorite mask, calling for her to return to the old lake house. Thus starts the couple's journey back to the abandoned lake house.
You'd be thinking that visiting an abandoned house in the outskirts of an also abandoned town would prompt Henry and Anne to arm themselves with at least a taser or pepper spray just in case a killer decided to take residence there. But no!
Anyway, Anne gets kidnapped by someone who is wearing Tommy's mask, and it's Henry's task to find her and learn the connection of her kidnapper and her childhood home. The game has 2 difficulty modes, Casual and Expert. On Casual mode, the hint button takes 30 seconds to reload and interactive areas sparkle. In the Expert mode, there are no sparkles over the interactive areas, and the hint button takes 2 minutes to reload. While the game has a map feature, which shows where an action can be done, it's not the type to help you teleport between locations, so you will need to make your own way between scenes. Cutscenes are used to provide a link between scenes, and you can also view several film strip interludes. These come in the form of old movie-type scenes. They feature incidents from the childhood of Henry, Anne, and Tommy, and how they interacted with each other in different instances. Hidden object scenes, easily identified by an outbreak of sparkles in the casual mode, generally follow the standard pattern of a cluttered scene, combined with the text list of required items. Most of the items in the list will be colored yellow, and these will be available immediately for selection. Any item colored white in the list will require an additional action before it can be selected. The completion of such a scene will bring the reward of 2 of the found items. On one occasion, the hidden object scene was complicated by the need to highlight areas with a torchlight. The journal can be selected from the bottom left corner of the playing area, and it automatically gets updated as one plays through the game, and will show a description of all the important events that have happened so far. Competitive or scavenger HOPA gamers, be warned, as this game doesn't have an achievement board, nor does it have collectible items, nor morphing objects to look out for.
Now here's the bulk of my analysis, criticisms, rants, whatever you call it about this game. Spoilers? What spoilers? Do I look like I'm going to give away spoilers to you?
Some gamers might complain about the graphics, with some scenes looking a bit grainy, but then again, the hand-drawn artwork has its own charm, as it adds a dreamlike tone to the game, thus subtly blurring the line between reality and fantasy. This game's main strength relies on its story and setting, with the artwork and imagery emphasizing on the story's theme of isolation, gloom, and childhood trauma, which can make you shiver as if you can feel the coldness creeping in from the lake house. The way the story slowly unfolds makes one want to find out what happens next. There are no jump scares, which is a good move for the developers because they didn't have to rely on this tactic in order to convey the eerie tone of Lake House.
Although most of the story's setting revolves mostly in and around Lake House and parts of the nearby deserted coastal town, we also get to see a glimpse of Henry's childhood.
It seems that Henry's family was originally well off, judging from the size of their old house and the fancy sculptures outside it. But after Henry left or possibly ran away, it got burned down, forcing his parents to a life of poverty by living in a trailer. I also note the hints of Henry's relationship with his parents. It seemed that Henry made no attempts to write back to them after leaving town, I presume, until their deaths.
Was it because of his guilt over Tommy's death, or was he already a troubled child who had a strained relationship with his own family, judging from the happy memories, which only consist mostly of the number of times he spent with Anne and Tommy's family?
At the start of the game, we're treated to think that this is a ghost-laden game, judging by the way Henry sees visions of Tommy, who sometimes guides him.
Was Tommy's apparition intentionally a manifestation of Henry's repressed memories? Or were the developers originally thinking of a ghost haunting theme in this game? You be the judge.
Henry, someone tore the pictures in our photo album to pieces. They destroyed every last snapshot.
Are you sure? Let me see, honey.
Although some of the dialogue borders on the awkward side, the voice acting is top-notch.
I could come with you,
And very convincing.
but I'm busy making a necklace for someone I care about.
Because
Help me find one more pearl,
it adds to
and I'll give you the key to the box with the flashlight.
the somber tone
Thanks for your help. Here's the key.
of this game.
When Henry found Anne, the masked man revealed himself as Chris Hemsworth. I mean, Tommy, all grown up.
And hunky.
Turns out, not Chris Hemsworth, aka Tommy, survived his near drowning and managed to find his way back home, only to find that everybody had left. How social services or the police did not get in touch with his parents on behalf of his then underage survivor self wasn't explained. The climax of the story showed Anne asking Tommy to throw his mask away to destroy it. But the scene ended up looking a bit comical. There was no hesitation from Tommy's part when he did what he was told by the sister whom he lost touch with, and is now about to marry the guy who originally caused his accident. It seemed like, "Throw that mask to the water, Tommy." "Yeah, sure, sis."
Yeah, and you nearly drowned again, Tommy. Although to be fair, that part rushed me off my feet as I tried to find ways to save the hunker by the water. Hunker by the water. Yeah, I thought about that.
The bonus chapter is played through the perspective of Anne. Even after marriage, she continues to experience nightmares about the mask and the horrible events that occurred at the lake house, thus prompting her to return to find out how the mask came to their possession and how to destroy it once and for all. Later, she discovers that her grandfather, who was then a judge, created the metal mask and used it to murder the people he believed to be guilty, which is how the mask got its powers. Feeling that he's getting controlled by the mask, he decided to destroy it, but found out in his horror that it cannot be destroyed that easily, and decided to hide it instead. And what better place to hide a mask that turns you into a bloodthirsty punisher than the family home where there were young children?
Hello? Social services?
After confronting her grandfather, he apologizes for what he did and tells Anne the only way to destroy the mask is to leave it in the basement where it was made, then light the house on fire.
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that?
As Lake House burns down behind them, grandfather tells Anne, "Everything will be fine, Anne," as they sail away.
And that, people, is how you put the lid on a long-time family trauma.
Aside from the bonus chapter, the extra content includes wallpaper, concept art, character details, media gallery, trivia about the game, and a strategy guide, although it is already integrated into the main game.
It was fun reading about the trivia, so if you managed to buy the collector's edition, I'd suggest you check it out. Shame that we can't seem to download the soundtrack, although it only consists of 4 songs that enhances the mood of the game. All in all, this is one game that I recommend to anyone who likes games that feels like a mini movie with its very cohesive story narrative. So that wraps up our Throwback Thursday gaming. Once again, this is the HOPA Gamer and thank you for watching. Now be sure to be on the lookout when we... What? What? What do you mean? Oh God.